from the book of Lady Drower, The Mandaeans of Iraq and Iran. The face of Sin, the moon is like a cat, animal-like and black, whilst the face of Shemesh is like a wheel of light, with seen in the moonship is the king of darkness, Milka de Shuka. He pulls men towards the earthly and gross, towards the dark and evil. He does this because he must, though he was created by and serves God, for there must be darkness and light and day and night. The word is derived from the Sanskrit svastika, meaning conductive to well-being. It was a favorite symbol on ancient Mesopotamian coinage. The right-hand swastika is considered a solar symbol and imitates in the rotation of its arms the course taken daily by the sun, which in the northern hemisphere appears to pass from east then south to west. The left-hand swastika more often stands for night, the terrifying Hindu goddess Kali, and magical practices. In Scandinavia, the left-hand swastika was the sign for the god Thor's hammer. Thor is a god of lightning, as we all know. This is very interesting because it shows that the god of lightning could be thought of as another form or avatar of the sun, which explains why Zeus was so important. Remember, we also read that electricity is associated with the sun god. And it occurred in South America, in South Central America, among the Maya. So, returning to the god Zeus, Zeus, the supreme god of the Greeks, is a sun god. Okay? Philosophical writers of the Hellenistic and Byzantine times definitely identify Zeus with the sun. Thus, Cornificus Longus, a grammarian of the Augustan age, said that when Homer spoke of Zeus visiting Athiops, he really meant the sun. Diogenes Laertius, about the year 200 AD, commemorates the death of Thales in the following epigram. Thales, the sage, once watched the racers strive, when thou, O Zeus the sun, didst snatch his life. Hence to every heaven I praise thee. Okay, so Zeus is the sun, the supreme god in all of the Sabaic religions. The supreme god is always the sun. Okay, whatever name he may have, the supreme god is always the sun. And the swastika, as we've said, is one of the symbols of the sun. Then Hebel-Zewa went and said to Abathor, Arise, set up thy throne in the house of boundaries, and take over sovereignty, and sublimate that which is sound from that which is base. When man's measure is full, and he cometh and is baptized in the Jordan, is weighed in thy scales, is sealed with thy seal, and riseth up and dwelleth in thy world. Then Abathor spoke and said to Hebel-Zewa, This you have arranged for me, that I was obliged to leave my land that is lofty and my spouses who are worthy and suitable, and you brought me and made me, he of the scales. This reproach is explained by other texts. Abathor Rama, the lofty Abathor, was forced to occupy the lower office and to become Abathor of the scales. That is, the being appointed to weigh human souls, consign them to a place of purification, reweigh them, and then pronounce them ready to go to the worlds of light. And then from the main website of the Mandaeans, we read, this is a summary basically of what they say. The world of light is described as being in the direction of the star Polaris. That's why they pray to the north. Okay, so the world of light for the Mandaeans is in the direction of the star Polaris, so they pray to the north. Hapikyamiya, this is from the story of creation in the Mandaean Getzarabba, from Sabah al-Disi, Hapikyamiya, from the water frontier of the world of light. This is the name given to the river of departure, which the souls have to cross in the ships. The streams are of fresh water and flow from the realm of Yushamayim, the second life, the middle world. According to the Mandaeans tradition, the world of Hapikyamiya, outflowing water, is located above the world of Abathor and below the world of pure Yushamayim. When the soul departs the dead body, it flies over the great white mountain Sur towards Samataratha, purgatory, Its journey takes 45 days, during which the soul goes into the process of purification. Then Abathor weighs the soul and allows it to proceed towards Hapikamiya to Yushamayim. She kept watch. This is the ship. Its name is Sahrat. Okay, so from the book Diwan Abathor, or Progress Through the Purgatories, this is the ship. Its name is Sahrat. She kept watch, that cometh towards the souls, that is, to the souls of the righteous, and ferrieth them over the earth, bringing them to the house of Abathor. The ship cometh to every soul that is righteous and ferries it over, but all those who are not righteous must walk on foot, and the righteous rise by homilies and holy books. So this is further description of the bridge that leads to the world of light. Okay. This is the likeness of the eighth that sitteth at the gate, upon which is placed 2 chains. This is the likeness of the lion that standeth in the entrance, and souls come knowingly, and he is loosed at them. So we have animals guarding the gates, and usually the Sabians depict those as dogs. Okay. No soul. This is from the Zoroastrians. We've read the Mandaeans. They tell us there's a lion, there's an ape. Now it's the turn of the Zoroastrians. They tell us no soul will come and meet his departing soul and help it, howling and grieved in the other world. Nor will the dogs that keep the Shinvat bridge help his departing soul, howling and grieving in the other world. The Shinvat bridge is the Zoroastrian version of the Hapikamiya, the bridge that leads to heaven. And whosoever, O Zarathustra, shall kill the dog with a prickly back, with a long and thin muzzle, the dog Van Gabra, which evil-speaking people call the Duzaka, kills his own soul for 9 generations, nor shall he find a way over the Shinvat bridge unless he has, while alive, atoned for his sin. In Greek mythology, Cerberus is the 3-headed dog who guards the gate of the underworld. Okay, and now's the turn of the Hindus. Yama's messengers were the pigeon and the owl. He had also 2 brindled watchdogs, each with 4 eyes. The 2 who had faithfully fulfilled religious ordinances were addressed. Fear not to pass the guards, the 4-eyed brindled dogs that watch for the departed. Return unto thy home, O soul. Thy sin and shame leave thou behind on earth, assume a shining form. Okay, and obviously this is all coming from the Hindus, from the Egyptians. I'm so sorry, this is coming from the Egyptians. From the complete gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt, Wepuewit was possibly the oldest of Egypt's jackal gods. Jackal means dog, basically. In funerary texts, Wepuewit also opened the ways in leading the deceased through the netherworld and the king to ascension. Anubis, who is upon his mountain, is a title probably based on the image of the jackal god watching over the burials of the dead from the heights of the desert cliffs, overlooking the necropolis. He also weighs the soul of the dead. See that? Anubis, the jackal, the dog, meaning weighs the souls of the dead. He is frequently depicted weighing the heart of the deceased against the feather of the truth. Sad, which was an ancient jackal-like god, who may have been an independent deity or alternatively related in some way to the jackal god Wepuewit. Sad was closely related to kingship ideology, and he was also associated with Ma'at, the truth meaning, in certain ways, and may have been viewed as a champion of justice similar to Ma'at herself. From the Mandaeans of Iraq and Iran, the bull. Now we've spoken about the dog, and we've said that the dog, when you're trying to cross the bridge into heaven, in Sabaic religions, they believe that there's dogs that are guarding the gates of heaven, and unless you've been purified of your sins, you're not making your way across. From the Mandaeans, another animal that is sacred is the bull. Okay, the bull or the ox is sacred and represents the sun. Mandaeans consider it a crime to kill either buffalo or ox. The sacredness of the later animals, especially the bull, to the life and to the sun is recalled by the uncompromising veto on their flesh. Hebel Zewa said, "A zebra to me, created these animals for plowing, for drought, and for the production of milk, and not for food. At the same time, no special religious importance is attached to the living cow. No virtue to cattle dung or urine as with the Parsis, and no magic to milk, although a milker should always say the name of the life, and the name of Manda Dhai is mentioned upon thee before starting to work. The Phoenician Aleph, our A, is the ox head. This is the Phoenician Aleph to your right, and this is tilted, okay? But it looks like an ox head, doesn't it? Alpha meaning ox, and that bull was symbolical of the sky and of the sun. So the sun seems to be associated with the sky for some reason. We're going to talk about this in the future. The vowels are modifications of this circle, and similarly may represent the setting and rising sun. And I just want to note that cow urine is used, and it's called Gomez, is used by the Zoroastrians during funeral preparations. In Saba, the national god was Al-Makka. Recent studies underline the symbols of the bull's head and vine motif that are associated with him and our solar and Dionysiac attributes are more consistent with the sun god. This is from the Greeks, okay, from Greek mythology. Tarot deciphered. We read, Europa was seduced by Zeus in the form of a white bull. And Zeus, as we've previously said, is the sun. So Zeus appears as a white bull. Okay, from the Hindus, the bull is another animal fetish of the sun god. In Vedic mythology, the solar divinities Surya, Rohita, etc. have been described as the bull. The description of the bull as ruler of the 30 days clearly points out the solar character. A white bullock is offered as the fee for god Safter, or Safter, the sun god. Besides these, in many rites, the bull is employed as a symbol of the sun. It represents the protective potency of the sun god. So, the sun is associated with the bull. I just want to say, we've read that one of the solar divinities is called Surya. Surya is actually the name of Syria in Arabic. The country Syria, its name in Arabic is Surya. So this divinity, this deity, was clearly worshipped in the Levant. From Merriam-Webster's Encyclopedia of Religions, page 6, ablution, a prescribed washing of the body. Water, sometimes mixed with salt, is commonly used, but washing with blood is not uncommon, and cow urine has been used in India. Okay? And the worship of the bull originates from the Egyptians. In ancient Egyptian religion, sacred bull deity worshipped at Heliopolis. As one of several sacred bulls in Egypt, he was most closely associated with the sun god Ra-Atum. So the sacred bull was worshipped, and he was closely associated with the sun god Ra-Atum. Continuing about the use of cow urine, the Egyptian pharmacopoeia, with its extensive use of blood and excrement, seems as weird as any of the ingredients used in magic. At least 19 types of excrement are mentioned in the magico-medical papyri. Some of the more exotic kinds, such as fly or ostrich dung, could be descriptive names for herbs or other substances, as in the Greco-Egyptian papyri. Urine has antiseptic properties, and some Egyptian dung poultices may actually have been beneficial for reasons that are yet to be explored. The Zoroastrian priests wash their hands with a gomez, cow urine, after touching a corpse, as we will later see. So the cow urine was sacred, and this is coming from the Egyptians, and we've said that the Zoroastrians, the Hindus, the Muslims, as we will later read, the Muslims actually see the camel's urine to be sacred. There's no cows in the desert, as we all know. The climate of Medina did not suit some people, so the Prophet of Islam ordered them to follow his shepherd, his camels, and drink their milk and urine as medicine. So they followed the shepherd, that is the camels, and their milk and urine till their bodies became healthy. And drank their milk and urine till their bodies became healthy. Ur is the mighty serpent, or dragon of the underworld, upon whom the material world rests. Above him are the 7 material firmaments, and below him the 7 underworlds of darkness. He has a fiery breath like a flame, and his belly is alternately fire and ice. Souls too impure to undergo the lighter purifications of Mataratha are drawn into his belly, and amongst these are unbelievers. Ur, as we've said, married his mother, that is Ruha, the spirit, that's an avatar of Venus, and together they produced the 7 planets and the 12 zodiac signs. Okay? Ur is in fact, in Hebrew, it means light. Ur in Hebrew means light. And in Arabic, the word for light is Nur. And if you guys remember, we spoke earlier that the Chaldeans, their city was called Ur. Ur of the Chaldeans is where Abraham was born. So Ur was a god, obviously was a god that was worshipped. From the Mandaeans of Iraq and Iran, we read, Shemesh, the sun, is addressed as Yurba. Since the pronunciation is Yurba and not Yu-Rabba, I think we are justified in considering Yur another form of Ur. Okay? So she tells us here that the sun is called Yurba. Yur-Ba. Ur-Ba, basically. And she says that because of that, she believes that the sun is, in fact, Ur, or Ur is an avatar of the sun. That's what she's saying. Chwolson suggests several derivations which suit the Mandaean conception of Ur. The Sanskrit Uru, great, Avestan Uru. I say that the word Ur comes from the Egyptians. It has the same meaning, great, and it's written as Wir. Scientists write it as Wir, and it's pronounced as Ur, I think. I think it's written as Wir, but it's pronounced as Ur. But, I'm definitely sure the source of this is the Egyptians. The source of this word, Ur, is the Egyptians. Now, she also says, this is from her book, this is a figure on your left, is actually from the book of Lady Drower. She says that many of the Mandaean Simels recall the fact that their religion belongs to an oil-bearing region, particularly the scenery of the underworld. Pitch that bubbles and seethes flames of fire, black mud, black stinking water, crude oil, and clear water that they cannot drink. The earth was over, and the black waters beneath. Genzaraba, pitch and oil are the sap of the trees of the underworld. So she says, Lady Drower says that the black waters that come from the underworld are in fact the oil. Okay, the oil that comes out of the ground is black water. And it's easy to light up, it's oil, so it's easy to light up, it burns. And so the Mandaeans depict that there's a dragon underworld, and he's spitting out these flames, or he's spitting out the black water. The black water's coming out of this dragon that's underworld. And this dragon, his black water lights up and turns into fire. So he's associated with the sun because of that, because of the fact that, the black waters that comes out of him can burn and turns into fire. He's associated with the sun. And if you look at the eyes of the dragon, if you look at this dragon, here's a drawing of the dragon, notice the eyes are the electric wheels of the light of the sun. Ur is an avatar of the sun. These are the electric wheels we spoke of recently. See the eyes of the dragon? These are the electric wheels. Okay, let's just go back a few slides. There you go, figure B, the electric wheels. See that top right figure B? The electric wheels of the sun. There it is. It's on the head of the dragon. This is the sun, okay? So the sun, Ur, and Ruha, Venus, copulated together and they formed the 7 planets, okay? The spirit of the sun and the spirit of Venus copulated together and they formed the 7 planets. Speaking about Hibal Zewa, this is from the story of creation, Sabah Hadisi. Speaking about Hibal Zewa, he takes them out from the mouth of Ur and throws them into the large sea of Soup, the Red Sea, the great ocean of destruction. Soup is a Gnostic metaphor for crossing from the world of matter into that of spirit, until their sins are completed. Then these souls, like white sesame thrown into living water, are then baptized with a great masbuta, baptism, a great baptism which baptizes them and instructs them with great teachings. Then he leads them across the water streams, Hapikamiya bridge to heaven. So Ur, as we've said, is a lesser purgatory. Anyone that hasn't been purified of his sins, I think it's not a lesser purgatory. It's a much more intense purgatory, because it says souls too impure to undergo the lighter purifications are drawn into his belly. So it's a much more strict and much more difficult purgatory. And so Hibal Zewa, once people are done with their purification, he pulls them out of the mouth of Ur and he sets them on their way to heaven. From Diwan Abathor, or Progress Through the Purgatories, this is a well of black water that is of menstruation, menstrual blood, into which women are cast. This is the description of the purgatory. Okay, we're getting an understanding of what's happening in these purgatories. I've chosen specifically the punishments that speak of women, punishments concerned with women, because I just found them to be extremely interesting. You guys are going to love this. Look at these punishments. This is a well of black water that is of menstruation, menstrual blood, onto which women are cast. And from this well drink women who should have observed their period of isolation during menstruation but did not observe it. They drink of this well because they perform the works of the children of darkness. In this purgatory of Shitl, son of Tahil, are put to the question those women who wash themselves with water from menstruation and approach their husbands. They shall be scourged with an iron rod, and heat and cold will be loosed upon them. And then from the Ginza Rabbah we read some more. When I reached the Mataratha of Fliffin and Fiffin, I passed by the rulers and the judges. I saw the sultans, and I saw those who denied religion. Then I saw women in a boiling brazier. They were hanging by their breasts in the midst of the flames, and all about them were eyes that wept, and tongues that wagged, with voices that rose up to high. Prophet Yahya, John the Baptist, speaking to his followers, all of the wrongdoings can be atoned for. All of the plots can be atoned for, except for those done by women. They stay thousands of years. Any female that reaches impurity and does not regain her purity by washing in the flowing river, a dark mountain will swallow her. Any female that reaches impurity and does not regain her purity will not cross the great dividing sea. Any female that reaches impurity and does not regain her purity will be given torn underwear. Any female that reaches impurity and does not regain her purity will birth dead children, and heaven and earth will curse her for polluting the pure waters. So, from the Ginza Rabbah, this is in Islam, by the way. The reason I'm speaking about this is because we're going to find it in Islam. I crossed the Mataratha without fear. I ascended to another Mataratha, purgatory. There I saw drowned bodies, beaten heads, and faces like dark burnt pottery. Who are those toiling under all of this worry? The answer was, they are those who have spilled blood, the murderers. Their bodies will stay aflame just as you see them. Their souls yearn for the second death, but the second death is not coming to save them from these flames. Ages come and pass, but they will remain just as they are. During the purification, some people might die a second time because of the intensity of the punishment. Those will end up back in the purgatories for more purification. Now it says here that he saw drowned bodies. Okay, and if you look at the picture that I've shown you guys, there's the sun god, there's the moon, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, the 7 planets. Each one has his own firmament, and he has his own circular path, which he travels on his boat. Okay, so each one of those 7 planets has his firmament, and he travels across this firmament in his boat. And you can see the people that are suffering. All of these people are suffering. They're drowning. Some of them are trying to stay afloat, that they're not able to. Some of them are swimming. Some of them are being dragged into the boat, right? The sun god, for example, he's dragging people into the boat. He's whipping these people, making them drink menstrual blood, perhaps, using hot iron rods on their bodies, different methods of punishment, basically. We see this in the Quran. Let's go ahead and read this verse. By those who snatch violently, this is verse 79:1. By those who snatch violently, and those who remove gently, and those who glide smoothly, and those who race swiftly, and those who regulate events. The correct translation, this is a false translation, and many of the translations in the Quran have been corrupted. So here's the correct translation. And those that are struggling, drowning, and those that are active, and those that are swimming swiftly, that are swimming smoothly, and those who are racing swiftly, and those that are planning something. And then it continues, consider the day when the quaking blast will come to pass, followed by a second blast. The deniers' hearts on that day will be trembling in horror. With their eyes downcast by now, they ask mockingly, will we really be restored to our former state, even after we have been reduced to decayed bones? Adding, then such a return would be a total loss for us. But indeed it will take only one mighty blast, and at once they will be above ground. So you can see that these are the people in the purgatories, right? Some of them are struggling, drowning. Some of them are active. Some of them are swimming smoothly. Some of them are racing swiftly. And then a quake happens, right? A major quake happens, and they look into the distance and they ask God, will we be returned to earth? Are we going to return to earth? But our bodies, no meat is left on our bones. We've decayed. There's nothing left. And God tells them, by one snap of my finger or by one word of me, I will make you return to your former state. And the day we shall cause the mountains to pass away, and you will see the earth as a leveled plain, and the earth will be brought forth, which will not have mountains upon it, and it will not be considered from this earth. It will be an earth that no sin will be performed on it, nor any blood will be shed upon it. So this is heaven, basically. This is the kingdom come. In the Islamic belief is that the earth will take a new form, let's say, and people will come back to life, and this new earth will not have any sin on it. People will not be fighting one another, and no blood will be shed upon it. So this is also found in the Avesta. That's the holy book of the Zoroastrians. Ahura Mazda, the Ahura Mazda made the creatures many and good, many and fair, many and wonderful, many and prosperous, many and bright, so that they may restore the world, which will thenceforth never grow old and never die, never decaying and never rotting, ever living and ever increasing, and master of its wishes. When the dead will rise, when life and immortality will come, and the world will be restored at its wish. Okay? And this is coming from the Egyptians, and this is why the Egyptians used to mummify their people. The ancient Egyptians conceived that they were retaining the soul within the body as long as the form of the body could be preserved entire, or were facilitating the reunion of it with the body at the day of resurrection by preserving the body from corruption. Okay, so this is why they used to mummify their people. I think this is all for today. But we are going to discuss this further, and I'm going to show you that these 7 planets are described in Muslim sources as being purgatories. Not just in Muslim sources, in Hinduism, in Greek mythology. The Zoroastrians also believed the planets were purgatories. We still have so much to uncover. Okay? But this is it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Come back for some more. Take care. Bye-bye.